My name is Rachel Brewster. I am a historical romance writer, and welcome to the show where we roast romance cover books. No, we're not going to roast them, but we are going to look at the book market, the book cover market for romance. We're going to do historical romance because that is my background, but I think that you can certainly use you can use the tools and the technique that we will go through in this video in order to apply it to your genre and make the absolute best book cover you possibly can. It's important to know what's going on in your market and what sells. It's important to understand how to communicate genre because you're trying to reach the readers who want your book or your kind of book. Even if you're not the one who creates the book cover yourself, if you hire somebody out, you need to give them direction as to what kind of book cover they are creating, or you need to know if you pay $300, $500 for a book cover, you better know if it's the kind of book cover that's going to sell or if they just gave you a pile of poop. Right? Okay. So with that in mind, let's look at book covers and what is selling right now. And we will use historical romance novels. Can you still see me? I'm not sure. Probably, right? Make my face a little bit bigger. Okay. So this is the Amazon Top 100 of paid. Here we have Julia Quinn. And this is something that I mentioned in my last video. Julia Quinn is a historical Regency romance novel. So Regency, the Regency era is going to be late 1700s, early 1800s, lords and ladies. But gosh, Julia Quinn, I think she started writing books, I want to say the late 90s, maybe early 2000s. So her book covers have changed significantly over time. In fact, I have one right here, An Offer from a Gentleman. Can you see that? See how different that book cover is than what we are displaying here. So this was written in 2001. This is what was going on in the market in the early 2000s. Very use your imagination, very soft, very romantic. Nobody's on the cover. There are no people on the cover. This and my other Julia Quinn books are not in this room, but all of her books are like this because this is what was selling at the time. Now, if you think that this is going to sell now, you're incorrect. The book market changes. How often it changes, probably debatable. I would say maybe every 5 to 7 years. You can probably check in with the book market once a year for fun to keep an eye on it, but definitely every 5 to 7. Once upon a time, I was part of a leadership development company, and when we did personality tests with people, we would always use the disclaimer that your personality results will be accurate or consistent for the next 7 years or so, because people change dramatically every 7 years. I would say that that's probably true for the personality of the book market. I don't know. So I would say every 5 to 7 years. Frankly, I do these videos monthly because I'm a weirdo, because I like to create the content, because I'm curious and I'm thinking about it anyway. So why not make a video, right? My point is, and what I'm trying to highlight is, you need to know the difference between this era and whatever's currently selling in the market, because if you take what's currently in the market and you throw up a book cover like this, it's not going to sell. People aren't going to click because it's not what they're looking for right now. So let's look at what they're looking at now. Well, Rachel, Julia Quinn is amazing and she's been writing for decades. So clearly I should make a book cover that looks like this. Actually, no. No, you shouldn't. Why? Because, ooh, my hair is flying all over the place. Because Julia Quinn made a strategic business decision to pivot her brand, in my opinion, from traditional Regency romance to mainstream. And she's doing that with Netflix and Shonda Rhimes. So what we see here is not necessarily a book cover that's going to work for your traditional Regency romance reader. What we're seeing here is something that's going to appeal to a mass audience, and these people are specifically who are playing Anthony and Kate in the Netflix show, right? So I would argue, and you can feel free to disagree, that all of her book covers, look at this one right next door, are going to be geared towards more of a mainstream audience because that's who she's targeting. So if you are a historical Regency romance writer, at this time, Julia Quinn is not your North Star because she's aiming towards a mainstream reader. And until the point of time where you become so popular that you have your own Netflix special, my guess would be that you are aiming more towards a historical Regency romance traditional reader. Does that make sense? I hope so. I think so. But I'm the one who's saying the words. So total toss up. Okay, so that because of that, as we go through this video, I'm actually going to be passing by Julia Quinn's novels and book covers as like a North Star for this particular genre. Okay, so a bunch of those are Julia Quinn. Here's one that's not, but it is an Avon book. Oh. Okay, so here's, I would say, for a traditional historical romance reader, this is a appealing cover. And then we've got a couple more Julia Quinn. Here we've got a Scarlett Scott and an Eloisa James. I remember her book cover from the video that I did last month. It was beautiful. I like her book covers a lot. So this is a good North Star. This is a good North Star. My Scandalous Viscount. The Detective Duke, etc., etc. And there are weird ones that pop in here, like The Ghostly Hour, a historical romance collection. I don't know. Oh, it's also 99 cents. So that's another way that you can hit the top 100 is because of price. And so when you're looking for your North Star, I would keep that in mind too, right? Like it's a full priced novel that's selling is probably going to be a better North Star than something that's 99 cents. So that's kind of how what I'm trying to articulate, and not sure I'm doing so well, is when you look at your genre and you're looking at the top 100, you have to think about why are they cracking the top 100? And one of the reasons that they might be cracking it is just on price alone. And you really should be looking at the full price people who are cracking the top 100 and take a bunch of those screenshots of what those book covers look like and put them all on a piece on a page, so that when they're not mixed in with the Julia Quinns of the world over here and the 99 cent ones over here, once you've kind of curated the book content, you can see more like a clearer vision. And we'll be doing that here in a moment. But that's what you should be doing in your own genre. So here's another one. What does this say? Mischief, Mayhem, Marriage, Supposed something. When I see a book cover like this gives me like Pride and Prejudice vibes, you know, versus, I don't know, something like this, The Wedding Wager or The Detective Duke, where it's like a steamy romance. And I don't want to say it's modern, but it's not like Jane Austen. So for me, when I'm looking at my historical Regency romance book market, when I see something like Mischief, Mayhem, and Marriage, I know that that's actually also not me. So I'm going to be eliminating anything that's 99 cents, anything that's Julia Quinn, and anything that's Pride and Prejudice, Jane Austen, high literary art kind of a thing, because that's not going to be my author brand. And I want to be really clear about what I am communicating to the market so that if and when they buy my book, they are going to feel like they got what they paid for. They got what they wanted. The package matched the content that was inside, and they enjoyed it, right? Like, so marketing is making a promise and then delivering on that promise over and over and over again. Okay. So scanning through these, this was one that caught my eye, Cherry Vine. I dug into it for a second because I thought it was going to be a good example of what not to do, right? What we discovered last time was that you'll see that there are a lot of females on the cover, usually looking coyly over their shoulder, sometimes with a man, but it's usually a woman by herself. So when I saw a guy by himself, I thought, oh, here's a good example of what not to do. But when I dug into Cherry Vine, I realized it's actually, I can even show you, LGBTQ, right? So it's number 39 in gay romance, number 49 in LGBTQ romance. LGBTQ is a new-ish subcategory of historical romance. It's not something that's been there a long time. And I think that authors are still trying to figure out how to communicate that via their book cover. So I have now seen this where it's just a guy on the cover. I have seen 2 women on the cover. That one was okay. It was difficult. Man, they're in a tough spot of how to communicate it, right? Because like when you see 2 women on cover and you're used to traditional male-female romantic relationships, if you see 2 women on the cover, you go, well, like maybe they're just friends, but they did, I don't know what I'm trying to say. So we saw a man on the cover, I've seen 2 women on the cover, and then last month, I think the best one that we saw for LGBTQ was actually, it was called Something Fabulous, and it was like cartoon almost. So it caught your eye and you knew, it's going to be different. It's going to be different than what I'm used to. So you kind of, again, it made a promise, you clicked on it, you read what it's about, and you go, that delivered. Plus the title itself, Something Fabulous. Fabulous. I thought clearly communicated. So my point is, it's going to be interesting to see how that evolves over time. Let's hop over to the second page just real quick. There was one other one I wanted to show you. Here's the, I thought this was Eloise. Okay, this is Ella Quinn. I love that book cover. Well done. Okay, enough rambling. Let's pop over to my analysis for this month. So what I did is I took, I curated the book covers that I was interested in and that would be my North Star. So removing the Pride and Prejudice, very reimaginings, removing Julia Quinn and removing anything that was listed at 99 cents, and then put them on a piece of paper so that I could see all of them together and learn what I could learn from doing that. And then because I am a freak, I put them in order of color. I am surprised and have continued to be surprised by how much royal blue there is. If you had asked me, I would have said red, right? Like it's romance, it's the color of red, it's lipstick, it's a dress, it's eye-catching, but royal blue, and maybe that's because it's historical romance and lords and ladies, the royal of blue, royal blue, maybe why, or maybe it's just popular right now, I don't know. So we have blue, red, pink, and then we've got some yellow and some green. What do we see when we look at this from a big picture? We see men and women together and a lot of women by themselves. I would say I would say there's more women by themselves than men and women together, but it's a little bit of a toss up and a mixed bag in this case. Notice that there are absolutely no men who are shirtless, mean mug into the camera, like, oh, right? Like the popped open chest of like, come and get it. Na, 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 na. None of that. There's no Fabio, like pirate, leaning against the shirt torn open. None of that. Just like this is not in vogue, the Fabios of the world are not in vogue. It's a much more female centric. And there is one man over here. Notice how he is fully clothed and turned away from the camera. I'm actually really impressed that this one stuck. I like the cover. I don't know what I like about it, but he's not like aggressive towards you, the reader, the audience, the viewer. He's fully clothed and he clearly communicates the time, era, and genre. So that's certainly helpful. Additionally, most of these men are clothed. This is probably the most naked guy, and he's not like front and center, right? This guy over here is in full tux mode. These guys, meh, but like they're all pretty clothed. So mostly it's women on their own, right? Here's a woman on her own. Here's a woman on her own. Here's looking coyly at back of my shoulder. Hello. But when a man is there, he's more gentle than the Fabios of the 80s, let's say. So this is important when you're thinking about your book cover. Additionally, let's look at the typography. There is, I actually don't know the words for the typography, so the written words, but we have like a cursive thing. Here, I'll zoom in on the Detective Duke. That's a good example. So she's got this cursive, and then she's got the hard word Duke, really stiff. A deal with the Earl. They're flowy, but still readable, if that makes sense. None of these stand out as being particularly odd. But I think if we toggled to like, I don't know, modern day romance, their typography is going to be different. So keep an eye on typography when you are looking at book covers. This one, okay, never mind. I was going to say, I remember the Johanna Lindsey Love Only Once. And I remember that from last month because it was in the top 100 too. Except when I saw this, I thought, my memory said that she was going up a flight of stairs and she was not looking back and it was just her bum. And I thought that Johanna Lindsey was like I was like, oh, if this is the new style, like I wondered if Johanna Lindsey was like trying different book covers to see what made people click more, and if it was just a bum or like her looking over her backside with her bum. So I just toggled over to when I did this in March, and I'm wrong. Here's the same one. It's exactly the same cover. I thought she was experimenting, and instead I'm just crazy. Apparently I have bum on the brain. If you've made it this far in the video, type below hashtag bum on the brain. Okay. If I had a personal winner, I thought again, color is absolutely fascinating. Look how they've taken this yellow and purple, and then here yellow is Johanna Lindsey's, yellow is the dominant color, and then purple is like the accent color. Here it seems to be the reverse. If I had to be a pain in the bum on the brain, I don't know why Madeline Hunter felt like that she needed a neon green, her name in neon green. Like I don't think it goes with the rest of the color scheme. I don't know why you wouldn't just have it be white, but I'm a pain in the bum, and so I was just looking at it, noticing it. Okay, so given that, let's throw some ones that stand out, some problem children. So here, this one's called How to Lose a Duke in 10 Days. In my personal opinion, this one doesn't work because of the color scheme. When I see black, white, and a little bit of red, it doesn't read romance to me. I saw this and I thought it might be a horror. And then I read How to Lose a Duke in 10 Days and thought, no, it actually is a historical romance, but the cover isn't communicating that to me. I think it's actually a really great cover, right? It's just a woman on the cover. It fits in that way with all the other covers that we're seeing on the screen. But I think the dress should be red. Maybe they were going for a black, white, red thing, but it doesn't pop. And I think that was a miss in my personal opinion. Here's one by Mary Below, I think. I know that name. I bet that she's got a bajillion novels behind her. I think that, can I find it really quick? I would bet money that that one was written in the early 2000s because it looks like so much like the Julia Quinn one. Really? It was published in 2022? I'm shocked. I would not have put that cover on that book. These covers are great. Like this one right here. Why would you put that cover on that book? I bet this one was written in the early 2000s. I was wrong once before. Am I going to be wrong again? Why won't you let me click? I just want to see it. Go to book. Come on, we're recording here. Let's find out. 2004. 2004. So if Mary wanted to push this book, I would say keep the content, keep the same book, and just update the cover to be more consistent with what's currently happening in the market. I literally have no idea why she would have done a cover like Tangled. That blows my mind, especially because she's so experienced. I mean, look how many books she has. Get out of here. Good heavens. So if anyone can think of a reason why that would be, please feel free to let me know. Or if I'm being silly and wrong, that's fine. But if you are an unknown author, it would be a terrible, terrible idea to do that kind of a cover. I do not recommend it. This one we talked about last week. I think that it is a little bit too aggressive, passionate, in your face for the market, but I wanted to bring it up again because it stuck, right? We talked about this one last month, which means it's been on the Amazon Top 100 for over a month. So what does that mean? That I am wrong, or that Alyssa Clark has, a ton of readers who love her. And so take what I say with a grain of salt. That said, if you are a new author and artist, I would gear towards what the market is trying to do rather than this. This would be dangerous, in my opinion, for a new author who's trying to get readers. This is a safer bet. Feel free to disagree. Feel free. This one is blue. I'll put that up here. The Painter's Girl. I have no idea what's happening there. I have discovered that some are showing up in this category, and I don't know why. It could be that this book, I mean, with her dress, I would think that it's in the 1800s, but this reads to me like like a magical mystery carnival kind of a thing rather than historical romance. Additionally, the topography, the name, like there's a difference between the painter's girl and the Viscount and the Vixen. You know what I mean? So this one sticks out like a sore thumb. And I actually just think that you can like label yourself as being in a couple of different categories. And I think this one's just like labeled in historical romance category and being brought to the top. So I would not use it as your North Star. Okay, and then here's this last one that is pink. Lady Ludicilla's Accidental Letter. I've seen this occasionally and a couple of times, and I think it's cute. My expectation, if I was a reader who clicked on that, is that it would be like funny and cute and light, right? I hope that's what she was going for. I don't know what to say about this one. If you have more thoughts, I would really love to hear them in the comments because I like it. It like warms my heart but I don't think as a historical romance reader, I don't necessarily want different, right? This is something that artists fall in the trap of. I want more of what I already love. I already love historical romance. These two red books right here are almost identical. I would read both of them. I would read both of them. They both look interesting to me. This is the trap that artists fall in. They want to be different and they want to stand out. And that's not necessarily what your reader is looking for. They already know what they love. I already know that I love historical romance. I just want more of what I love. So when I see something like this, what goes through my brain is I don't think that I am the target audience for this person. 80% of what I read is this and this, and maybe that one. Do you know what I mean? Whereas this might be like a palate cleanser where I read something that's like cute and rompy and like fun. But most of the time I'm not going to click on it. That said, maybe she does have a target market of people who like cutesy romp, whatever, that would click on it. Am I making any sense? I don't know. The intention of this video is to help people think through what their target market is and communicate that in their book cover. I would say because I am a current writer, aspiring author, I look at these red guys over here and think, when I am ready to publish, that's what I want it to look like. And if I see something like this pink one here, I go, I don't know what's happening there. I think it's interesting and cute and I might read it, but it's not my North Star. I'm not entirely sure what's happening there, but I know it's not my North Star. So I hope this video has helped you think a little bit differently, think about how to look at your top 100 and how to be competitive in your market, how to look at the top 100 and remove things that you know isn't right for you. Right for me was Julia Quinn and Pride and Prejudice kind of stuff, and then synthesize it into this is a much clearer picture of what my North Star should be than just looking at everything in the top 100. And once you have that, you can look at, there's just a woman on the cover, or there's a man and a woman, or these are the kind of colors that are really popular. Here's the topography. So that makes you much more educated so that when you make your own cover, or when you go to a book cover artist and say, this is what I want, you can be really clear about what that vision is because you've educated yourself and you know what's going to be selling in your marketplace. And why is it important about what's selling? Because you need somebody to see your cover, get excited, be like me and go, oh, I already read the matchmaker and the Marquess, but the Duke's virgin sister, I'm in. You know what I mean? Like, you want to relate to your target market and make them click. And then once they click, they can read the blurb, read the reviews, and say, yep, I'm in. I'm going to buy your book. So hope that was helpful. I will be doing videos like this once a month. And so as you can see in the corner, it is April 4th, 2022. If you want to see other videos like this, feel free to explore my channel and we will continue to learn and grow together. All right. I think that's enough for now. Thank you so much for watching this video and getting to the end. If you did get into the end, hit bum on the brain at the bottom and I'll see you in the next video. Okay. Ciao for now.